Hey, what's up?
Hello, friends.
This is Bonefish coming at you at a slightly higher BPM. This morning, we are recording for the first time
AM.
in the morning.
And you somehow sound sleepier.
Do I? Yeah. I've had one cup of coffee. I'll probably drink more, but we're slow people. We're slow podcasters, and that's okay. What's up, Christian?
Not much, dude. Caught the premiere of the restored 4K IMAX version of Stop Making Sense on Monday night.
Ooh, where was that?
I was at the AMC at City Walk Hollywood.
Gotcha. We should say this is the Talking Heads.
This is the Talking Heads
re-release
of their iconic concert film directed by Jonathan Demme. It was tight. I had actually never seen it before.
I've never seen it, yeah.
You know, he's got the big suit and everything. Even bigger on an IMAX screen, let me tell you. Probably the biggest that David Byrne suit has ever looked.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I've been up to. How about you?
Cool. Not much, man. Just listening to music.
Yeah.
That's all I do.
Yeah. You just get home, turn all the lights off, put your blindfold on.
Yeah. I go into my
fire up your 5.1 surround sound.
Yeah, I go into my sensory deprivation tank.
Your sound yurt.
And just play music for 24 hours straight.
Nice.
No, not much. Ready to talk about the new Animal Collective.
The new Animal Collective is here. Isn't it now? It is now. Now's the time.
Now's the time.
We're recording this just a little bit before release date.
So yeah, this is the band's 12th studio album. I count it kind of as their 13th album because I count Halunda Gain as an album, even though it's live, but it's all new material.
Gotcha.
It's a quick follow-up to Time Skiffs.
Mm-hmm.
About a year and a half after Time Skiffs released. This originated from the same kind of sessions.
Right.
Well, this all kind of goes back to 5 years ago from the New Orleans, this music box show that three of the members did without Panda Bear. And then they all reconvened in 2019 somewhere in like remote Tennessee to workshop these songs. And
yeah, Leiper's Fork
or something like that.
Yep. Renting a cabin in a bucolic countryside, so says the album advance information.
Yeah, and they came away with I think like 20 songs or something like that. Anyway,
they came away with what would make up both Time Skiffs and Isn't It Now.
Yeah, and so maybe, you know, in an alternate universe, this would have been all just maybe one album, one massive double album, or an album and an EP. But because of COVID, Time Skiffs was recorded remotely, and this one was, of course, done in real life.
Yeah, sort of interesting that I guess they like took that big batch of songs, divvied them up based on kind of, okay, what do we think we can get away with recording remotely, sort of to a click, and then what do we know we need to be in the room for all together. And so Isn't It Now is the group of songs they decided they needed to be breathing the same air for.
Yeah.
To do so, they recruited the producer
Russell Elevado. Yeah, he's worked with Kamasi Washington, D'Angelo. He's a big analog nerd. And so it gives this album, yeah, kind of like a retro, kind of almost 70s vibe. Maybe a little bit more than Time Skiffs, but...
Yeah, definitely some heft, some low end.
Yeah. So I've listened to this album twice. Yeah, twice.
So pretty fresh impressions.
So pretty
for you.
fresh. So we're gonna kind of. This is a disclaimer. We've been listening on the fly.
I've listened to it a handful more times than that, I would say.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, still pretty fresh for our ears.
I feel like, what's the proper album test? I mean, sometimes it could take years, but on average, I feel like 3 to 5 listens is.
Yeah, I think
for me, albums deserve that.
For sure. Yeah, to really solidify a well-informed impression. Yeah. So yeah, all that to say is pretty fresh for us still, pretty new. We did our anticipatory It Is Not Yet Now podcast, where we kind of anticipated this record via some of the live tracks. Of course, we've had Soul Capture and Defeat now for a minute, but here we've got the whole thing.
Yeah, we got the Soul Capture track 1, but it's extended.
Got that intro. Yeah, so do you want to, should we go track by track? Do you want to do like sort of first impression? Do you want to kind of give a top line reaction first, or should we want to save that for the end, or what do you think?
I've been listening to these songs for 4 years, and Time Skiffs definitely surprised me. I like the songs more. I think I've said that before. So far, like, these songs are kind of like what I expected, and there's definitely some interesting like flourishes that they added to some songs. I'm kind of thinking of, there's like a guitar solo at the end of Magicians from Baltimore, it sounds like, right?
Yeah.
And that combined with kind of the ragtime deacon piano is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Makes me hear the song in a different way, because I was never super hot on that song. It seemed to just kind of like swim around and not go anywhere, That sticks out to me.
Yeah. Because this album was the one they decided to like wait and record all together. It makes sense that, maybe the songs overall are a little less surprising, sort of more or less what I expected, I guess, based on the live boots.
Yeah, and the palette is very similar to Time Skiffs.
Yeah.
A lot of like the issue with albums in quick succession, like the 1-2 punch, like a say a Kid A and then an Amnesiac, talking about Radiohead. Though a lot of people love the follow-up to Kid A, Amnesiac, and some like it even more. To me, it seemed like kind of like the Leftovers album, even though it's still a good album.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think you can say that about this new one compared to Time Skiffs? Like, do these feel like Leftovers? I guess process-wise, they're not, because the songs they decided to record were based on just what was easier remotely. And I know they said some of the Panda Bear songs were harder to do remotely with Time Skiffs. So that was a factor, not necessarily like, oh, let's just front load Time Skiffs with the best stuff and then whatever's left come out with this one. Because I definitely think the Panda Bear songs are stronger on Isn't It Now?
I agree. Yeah.
And if you wanted to I think fans are already doing this, make an edit of one album.
Make a super album? Like, are they combining both track lists and including them all, or are they keeping it?
Yeah, they're just making new track lists out of the 2 albums. It's always fun. My small edit, if just for fun's sake. I mean, I'm happy that the band put this out as it is. Like totally. I would switch out Car, Keys, and Walker for Broke Zodiac and Gemini.
Gotcha.
That would make a good album, like that album, even better.
You're not saying you would put Car Keys and Walker on Isn't It Now, but you're just saying you would swap the Panda Bear tracks.
Yeah, I would take out Car Keys and Walker from Time Skiffs and replace them with
interesting.
Broke Zodiac and Gemini. But does this feel like, even though the band said that, the reason why certain songs are coming out now is because of the, COVID and all that, does this feel like a Leftovers album to you or not? Or
I think Leftovers definitely.
Yeah, that's a spicy word.
Yeah, has a pejorative connotation. I would say on the one hand, no, like they certainly doesn't feel like what they usually do with like their post-album EP, which is kind of like, oh, here's a couple extra ones from this era that we dug but couldn't fit on the album. I think the albums can definitely stand apart, but I think, that, it is sort of unusual for this band in the sense that they do both occupy the same sonic palette.
Yeah.
The albums do sound different, isn't it now? It definitely sounds more live, maybe slightly like looser in that sense. If you're not playing with a click, but you're playing together, like I think of Soul Capture feels a very...
Yeah, Isn't It Now seems a little looser and maybe more downcast a little bit.
Yeah.
I like the kind of little ambient segues on time skips, like at the end of Prester John, and I wish there was kind of more of that on this album, but you have like Defeat, which there's, Defeat next to Magicians in Baltimore. It's a pretty languid, drawn out section of the album.
Yeah, and I mean, the first two songs are like put together like almost 15 or 16 minutes long. Like it's definitely sort of, it's funny because Time Skips at the time felt like, oh, like they sound like a band again, but it's sort of like a more chill, laid back kind of, I guess, calmer band. And I think Isn't It Now is even less sort of like energetic, I guess, is even more on the kind of, I guess, more somber, spacious, really takes his time, really isn't in a hurry, with a few exceptions. But I
mean, I like the kind of stately Renaissance vibes, like on with Deacon's Hurdy-Gurdy is back, and then just some of the piano lines and
the chanting.
Yeah, like Broke Zodiac. That's maybe the shortest song on the album, but that's kind of like, it's got this kind of like elegant kind of swoon, kind of really cool. It's interesting that they started the album with like the vocal mishmash stuff.
Yeah. So why don't we just get into track by track? We can start with Soul Capture. We heard the single version, but now we have the added intro. The first thing we hear is like those nature sounds, which is an interesting sort of interesting choice for the very first thing. It goes from nature sounds right into like, basically like studio chatter is kind of what it sounds like.
I don't think we've ever really heard that before.
Yeah, like voice collage. It sounds like in the control room sort of stuff, which is, I'd say, pretty common for if you're going to hear like weird tape like spliced into songs, like studio room chatter is like a common use for other bands. Like the first thing it sounds like someone says is it climbs out of the woods. Like I've picked up a couple little snippets here and there.
Yeah,
and then join us and have a wonderful day.
It kind of reminds me almost of the beginning of Centipede Hurts a little bit.
That's fresh in the mind because we just potted about that. But I was thinking that too. And then it sounds like, it's interesting, the very end of it says like, 30 seconds is pretty good, huh? And then like the song starts. And it's right at about 30 seconds into the intro. So it's almost like this self-aware, like, okay, we've done a long enough intro. Let's get into it. And then Soul Capture comes in. It's cool. I don't know if it adds a ton for me to this song. It's cool to start the album this way, though. I think it's a little more interesting, a little more characteristic of them than just going straight into Soul Capture. But yeah, how has it changed at all for you since first hearing it, or how is this song kind of? How does it stand for you right now?
Not really. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I thought it's been cool for a while. I like the layered guitars. Yeah, it sounds like a 60s song or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like Feels era, like palette. Just kind of like the song definitely doesn't sound like a Feels song, but weird detuned guitars, like minimal drumming, but like a pretty steady groove. I dig the chord change. That's like sort of in that section. It sort of sounds like one that's like a little uncharacteristic of them. It's when he says like, life is a ring around its finger. And then, obviously love those Panda Bear backing vocals at the end of those little chorus lines. Love hearing them.
Classic for sure.
Hop on each other's vocals like that. The song really sort of steps up in the second half for me, like around 3:41. Those like, ooh, come tempt me vocals come in, and that cool little guitar line. And then there's that kind of vocal drone that kind of sits on that one note at the end, which is cool. I always dig when bands do that, kind of like.
It kind of reminds me of the way Car Keys kind of dissolved as well. You get Gio's Hurdy-Gurdy comes in, and then you kind of just had the vocal drone, a little bit.
Yeah, I could see this being like a cool live, like kind of morphing into like a sort of extended jam or something at the end. Like you have the drums get a little more exciting, and could see that being a fun one. in the pit.
Genie.
What do you what's your soul capture, Justin? Do you have a soul capture in your life?
My phone,
Yeah. It's everyone's, huh?
probably.
That's what I think about when I hear this, the thing we're both looking at right now, reading our notes off of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it makes sense as a single, this track. I think we can talk a little bit more, maybe when we get to other ones. I think it's an interesting choice to follow Defeat. Like, I wonder if they had thrown one of the Panda Bear tracks, if they had released one of those instead of Soul Capture after Defeat. It's interesting to think like how anticipation for this album might be different or similar.
Yeah. Cool song.
Number 2, Genie's Open.
Which used to be called Sea of Light. I think this came out of the Sung Tongs tour, the 2018 Sung Tongs tour, I think.
They played it then?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
What?
Yeah, it was a different version.
Like just acoustic guitars?
Yeah, and it was called Sea of Light, and I think part of that song is
Sea of Light or Sea Light?
Sea of Light.
Okay, yeah, because they obviously sing that.
Which I always thought would be a cool album title for this, but they didn't pick that.
No.
They did not pick that.
That's crazy. I wonder, there's got to be some versions of that out. I would love to hear an acoustic all version. That would be...
Yeah, it's flowing. It's out there.
Okay.
It's got this kind of quality, like I picture like a ship at sea, like approaching land or something, like, you know, kind of like a procession or something. Yeah, it's
totally. Yeah, I dig this one. It's a weird song. I think hearing the studio version, there's definitely some big details that sort of jump out that I didn't really get in the live versions I heard. Like that sort of staccato bass throughout, I feel like is really important to kind of the vibe of the like the sort of feel and groove of the song. I think that really comes across strongly on the studio version. And yeah, it's interesting. It's sort of like almost krautrocky, just kind of staying on that kind of groove. There's those long melodic lines, and then the second part, sort of the groove change up. It's like you said, we've been sailing, you know, across this dark and stormy sea, and then suddenly we make it to the Sea of Light. What do you think of that, like, B part of the song when that sort of more dancey groove comes in?
It's adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. Like, it sounds to me, it's like the classic kind of, like it's party time ending track, but it's not the last song. It's track 2.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
The big time signature change. It makes sense. It's like it's a pretty welcome change of pace after that kind of just continuous throb. The first part of the song, I think at some point it gets like a little punishing with that bass and just kind of staying on that in between tempo where it's like you can't really dance, and then suddenly it breaks. And yeah, it's cool. I think the Sea of Light part gets maybe a little happy dappy for me kind of at the end, but it's still cool to hear Noah and Dave kind of sing off each other on those lines.
Yeah, it seems
always nice to hear that.
It seems a little mailed in, like you said, happy dappy.
Yeah. What is it about that? What, like, I wonder why
does it bother us?
Huh?
Why does it bother us?
Yeah, or just why?
We're just not happy dappy people right now.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the first part of the song better, and I am glad there's like a distinct change, but I don't know, loses a little steam maybe for me after that shift. How about what do they say at the end? Couldn't, shouldn't walk in the woods. It's like a weird kind of ending on that song.
Oh, that's how the song ends?
Yeah, did you catch that?
No, I didn't.
Let me play it for you really quick because I want to hear it.
I should have walked carefully.
I hear like a couldn't, a shouldn't. It's almost like a Looney Tunes, like Elmer Fudd. Like,
it's like they changed their mind like mid-song.
Yeah. Anyway.
Broke Zodiac. Shortest song on the album. Shortest song on the longest album they've released. I like this one.
Yeah, dude.
This one I've remembered since they've played it live.
Catchy ass riff, dude.
I love Dave's bass.
Yeah. Yeah, the bass with that little keys line.
Boom.
Really nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, to me, this song, it's cool that, like, the instrumentation, it sort of sounds like something that Noah might have, like, sampled for, like, one of his earlier albums, but it's obviously, like, a full band, like, fully fleshed out instrumentation. But, you know what I mean? A little sort of, like, breezy beach vibes. Yeah, I had that thought, like, oh, you could almost, like, sample this, make it sound crunchy. It can be almost like a old style Panda Bear song.
Yeah, I picture, like, being in, like, a garden, like a palace garden or something.
Ooh,
like,
I like that.
Yeah, like a long time ago or something.
That's nice.
Just, yeah, vibing in the...
Kind of a sad chorus. Something about angels kept in cages. I don't like that.
Ooh. It sounds cool.
Free to angels. I also really like the, like, vapors line at the end. Vapors. Kind of says a little weird.
Yeah, I dig this one. I've always dug it. And pretty faithful to the live version that they've been playing.
Yeah, definitely to the one I listened to for our preview pod. Sounds pretty close. I feel like this has single potential. It's passed over for now, but yeah, I mean, you could hear this playing on like KCRW or something. This could get some radio play.
Yeah. Faux show.
Magicians from Baltimore.
Clocking in at a 9:27, 9 minutes and 27 seconds.
Another hefty boy.
AV song.
Yeah. What a journey this song is. Sort of a weird one. I really, really dig the intro. Kind of the spacey verses. Just like I feel like it's a cool integration, which they're really good at. It's a cool integration of like live instrumentation with their like soundscapey side. Like I dig how those little drum hits and then those crazy sound effects kind of sound like they're like flowing off the cymbals. Like it's really well sort of.
Yeah, it's very multi-dimensional.
Sort of integrated, very headphonesy.
Yeah.
Like the little tinkly sounds and then...
Definitely very physical.
Warbly tones.
It's crazy how do they time that? It's magic, bro.
Magic. From Baltimore.
This one changed. I feel like it changed a bit. Like the ending has kind of like filtered AV vocals. And then, I said, like it sounds like guitar... Like a guitar solo.
It's like guitar wails. It's like sort of funny sounding, I guess, a little bit. Yeah, the high on the Magnolia part, not my favorite on this song at least. Yeah, I think it maybe has to do with a little bit the sort of instrumental change towards the end. Those guitar wails, sort of funny to me. And then, that chimey piano. What'd you say earlier? I wrote down it comes in all vaudeville.
It's a good call. Very vaudeville, yeah.
When you say like ragtime, it feels a little... Sort of a weird journey from like a cool desolate beginning into kind of it takes interesting turns.
Yeah, it goes. I mean, they didn't play this when they first workshopped some of these songs in New Orleans at the Music Box show in 2018, but I could definitely hear this coming from that. I mean, it does have like kind of a NOLA vibe to it.
Yeah.
which is really cool. You got some, like I said, some like kind of almost like a ragtimey piano at the end as well. And from there we go into Defeat, monster track, which we've heard before.
We did a whole pod breaking down.
Yeah, we don't have to go too deep, really.
I think it's one of my favorite songs of the year so far, dude.
Really?
I love this song.
Wow.
Yeah. That's funny. Like
Cool.
I like listening to it in preparation for this episode. I was like, listening through the track list, I was like, oh, I'll probably skip Defeat. So long. I've heard it a handful of times, but I always, as soon as I hear those first little soft droney sounds, I'm like, oh, I'm in, dude. Like yeah, man. It's a rewarding odyssey, I mean, I think it's cool to hear them do something big and epic like this, like a really long track. Like I love it when bands do that, whether they be like sort of prog rock bands or like, like even I think of like a Impossible Soul by Sufjan Stevens. That's like another track. That's like a entire side of a disc, like a long.
Yeah, that's Age of Adds.
Yeah, Age of Odds. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the middle section best on Defeat when it kind of picks up.
Yeah, the upbeat part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dig that part too. I really like the Once on a Good Day part. Just so gorgeous cool. after that kind of sped up part.
Once on a good day. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love the wandering, sort of tumbling, soft and warm, but mournful sounds of this track. It's like, it's very meditative. It kind of has like that it's sort of cosmic in scale. Like I mentioned it a little bit on our Defeat pod, but I kind of read it as like this microcosmic story of the evolution of consciousness. and that build-up's really exciting. I kind of almost get like Phil Collins vibes from when they're doing those voice, like...
Really?
Maybe I just think I'm in Tarzan world, but when like the build-up happens...
Oh,
and they're
when
doing
it's like Jumanji?
Yeah, I feel like swinging through the jungle from some vines, I mean,
it's like classic Animal Collective.
Yeah. You're on top of your game when you're coming of age. Praise for the underdog. Some lyrics that kind of stick out. I wonder, too, if the song is sort of a reflection on their own careers or just like the artistic journey. But yeah, dude, the horns at like 15, 20 in the song, the horns that go into the second Once on a Good Day part, it's like, come on, so gorgeous.
Oh, there's horns on this?
There's like this horn sounds. I don't know if it's actual horns, but yeah, that 15, 20 part certainly sounds like horns to me. And then, yeah, Isn't It Now comes from the lyrics on this song.
Yeah, this one's really like,
Defeat.
4 songs, kind of?
Yeah.
I'd say.
Really dig this part of the song, how the synth sort of kind of like slides down between when they says Isn't It Now and Defeat, sort of like directly mirroring the kind of sort of slumping over feeling. Form meets the concept. It's almost like the song's ability to maintain its own pitch is defeated itself as it like slides down in that moment, kind of like portamento style. And yeah, Noah and Dave kind of singing off each other at the end as they both get weaker and weaker. Just a whisper at the end, like, this is how the world ends, not with a bang, with a whimper.
Heavy.
Yeah, dude. Love this song. I mean, I think this is sort of the Defeat album, right? And I think, like, kind of in retrospect, sort of all built around this epic song.
Yeah.
And I feel like the rest of the album sort of has characteristics of this track as well.
Yeah, it's interesting that they put it on the album and not as like a standalone.
Yeah, we sort of thought after they released it and had that vinyl only release, we kind of thought, oh, that means it's its own thing. This won't be on the record, but it's the centerpiece.
I guess my take on it is, I probably don't like it as much as you. It kind of just like swims around, and like, instead of like really going anywhere. But yeah, no, it has beautiful moments. I love the build up. I love the Once on a Good Day part.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like it. Probably won't return to it a lot. But that's just me.
Yeah. until the next time you do a heroic dose of psychedelics, and then you just go on the fucking journey, dude.
Yeah.
Then you'll come out the other side and realize.
Then I'll make a playlist
realize it's a masterpiece.
Make a playlist of 45 tracks of just Defeat on it.
YouTube 10 hours of Defeat. Jim and I. So what do we make of the fact that both the Panda songs on this album are like astrological sign references? Dude's getting his horoscopes.
He's into the cosmos, man. You know,
we both anticipated this track strongly.
I think
early fave for both of us. How do you feel? Does it give you the shaft, like Noah says in the lyrics? Or are you quick with a compliment?
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I like this one a lot. Maybe my favorite song.
Yeah.
On the album. I think it's also the one that's changed the most. Maybe kind of.
Definitely different. Got those bum, bum.
Yeah. Bum, bum. And then there's like some garbly vocals from Panda Bear during parts of it.
Yeah, and then the chorus, to me, there's like that sort of background, or not background, it's pretty prominent. There's like that synth, it's kind of like, you know, quarter notes, eighth notes, I guess.
I love Deacon's piano line, the kind of main melody. They kind of turned it down a little bit, I feel like, for the recording. Mm-hmm. This is another one that I remember them playing in 2019.
Yeah, they played it when I saw them in Big Sur, definitely.
Crack open another beer. Let's get in it.
Dude, Noah loves to sing about beer, man.
Does he?
Yeah, we get someone that at some point's got to count all his references. Mm-hmm. Like, in Part of the Math, one of my all-time fave Panda Bear songs. You dance, get your cocktail on. Na, na, na. And then, isn't there one in Time Skiffs? Anyway, I don't have to search for them. I feel like there's definitely a handful at this point. On Reset, too. Or at least drink references. Like a Coca-Cola.
Oh, yeah.
Dude loves his bevs.
Loves beverages.
Rock'em sock'em robots. Dude, crack open another one.
Beer.
Yeah, I dig that line, though. That's like the, another tip to the golden years. We're probably in it. Like, yeah, man, the best time of our life. It's not in the past. It's right now. It's every day, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll count the Noah drank references.
Yeah, I think I laughed out loud when I first heard this song. Saw it live.
Jim and I?
Yeah, but not in like a bad way.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, this is definitely a band that is funny.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, he says we got the shaft in this song.
Like, they can make you laugh, right? But then you're immediately like, whoa. Like, then you take them seriously almost. Like, you know? I think...
Yeah.
I think
just like us. You listen to Bonefish, you laugh, and then you're like, wait.
Yeah.
I gotta take these guys seriously.
Yeah. But it's like, yeah, so... Because I didn't listen to any bootlegs when I first heard these songs live. So, you know... The show was the new album, and I didn't know what to expect at all. I didn't even know what like the lineup was or anything. So
in 2019, you're saying?
Yeah. And so I definitely remember like cracking up when the chorus to this kicked in. But yeah, it's a dope song.
Yeah, dude, dope. Pretty in and out, pretty tactical, which more and more is reflecting sort of Noah's style. I feel like his songs are sort of outliers on this album for that reason. Not like palette wise, like, but they're both like really brief, really traditionally structured, like verse chorus and out sort of. Yeah, interesting to see that's that's basically Reset, right? Like it's the poppiest thing he's done.
Yeah.
And then here is his he's kind of staying true to that format.
I think generally, yeah, he's definitely more to the point than Dave.
Stride Right.
Stride Right. Deacon song in line with his other song from this era, Royal and Desire, very downcast, ballad-led song.
Yeah, pretty sad.
Pretty fucking sad. I like this song.
Yeah.
I like it.
You love Royal and Desire.
I love Royal and Desire, man. That one fucks me up. This one, not as like emotionally striking, maybe, as Royal and Desire, but yeah, it's just cool to see Deacon take the lead, and like he's really gotten really good at playing piano in this era, and I think we're about to get like a sick ass Deacon solo piano album.
Wow.
Hopefully next year sometime.
You think so? Yeah.
I know he's been dropping snippets and stuff, and
dropping snips,
and said he's been really, that's like priority number one has been to record a solo album. But I feel like, I think we've talked about how like their music's kind of gotten sadder, and this is definitely
for sure.
An example of that.
Yep. I have sort of a Deacon hot take.
Go for it.
So
hot takes.
So I think I mentioned on a previous episode that I think it was like Anthony Fantano or someone said that Deacon's voice kind of sounds like a weird take on Jeff Mangum.
I don't even know what Jeff Mangum sounds like.
Neutral Milk Hotel?
Yeah, I don't know anything about him.
Holy shit.
I'm sorry, guys. It's really embarrassing.
It blows my mind. Anyway, it's not super germane because I don't think Deacon sounds like Jeff Mangum. But I do think Deacon sounds like Father John Misty.
Wow. I can hear it.
It sounds
I can hear
crazy
it.
when you hear it, but next time you listen to Stride Right or Royal and Desire for that matter, dude's kind of a little bit, sounds like Father John Misty. I think especially with Stride Right, there's it's basically waltz. It's kind of like a waltz. It's very waltzy. So is actually Royal and Desire.
It's got an elegance to it, and so does Father John Misty a little bit.
And then there's that piano. It's kind of what I hear, dude.
Yeah. I can hear it.
Father John Misty's got a great voice, no shade, but that just is like, oh, dang.
Yeah. I like Deacon's voice,
Yeah, me too.
At times it kind of sounds like Noah when they draw out the vocals. We got to do a Deacon episode. We've been meaning to do one.
Oops, all Deacon
episode. It's going to happen. It's going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah, I love it when they all sing together. Like on King's Walk, he sounds super good with the other two.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say that. Like, I feel like they're singing less altogether than on Time Skiffs on this album. You think, is that the case, or am I just not picking up on it?
That's a good question. We just got the full credits, so we can see literally what all he sings on. If you want,
it says that.
Yeah, it's got each track's breakdown.
What does Stride Right say?
So Stride Right says they all sing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Deacon sings on a lot of these tracks, probably just backup stuff, but he's credited on almost every one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, confirmed there is saxophone on Defeat, tenor sax, also some cello and violin.
Yeah, that's cool.
And a gong. All right, now next up we got the wild card. All the clubs are broken.
All the clubs are broken. This is the only song we had not heard at all. Wow, I thought my phone malfunctioned and went to a different artist or something. I couldn't believe this is on the album.
Pretty out of left field.
Total vibe change. It sounds like a George Clinton song. You know what I'm saying? Something off of Doggy Style or even To Pimp a Butterfly.
It definitely,
Kendrick's album.
Yeah, kind of like an interlude. Sort of just fades in and fades out like a passing circus almost.
Yeah,
it's got that boom bap kind of rhythm. Everyone's a 9 to 5.
Judging from the title, all
living
the clubs
in a world
were
of
broken.
Trials. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to step on you.
No, I'm just saying, judging from the title, all the clubs are broken. This is kind of yearning for club life, club culture during COVID.
Do you remember my prediction for it?
That it was about billy clubs or some shit?
No, I thought it was like a secret ACAB track. because all the clubs are broken. All the cops are.
I don't get it.
Do you know ACAB?
No, what is that?
Bro. So you had no idea what I was talking on a podcast. No. ACAB is a acronym for All Cops Are Bastards.
Oh, okay.
It's like very popular.
Oh, I didn't know
Got
that.
a lot more popular after the summer of 2020.
Yeah. I didn't know that acronym. Wow.
Dang.
I was just pretending to understand you.
So you've never heard Neutral Milk Hotel and you don't know what ACAB is?
No, it's a miracle that
What planet are you from?
It's a miracle that I get dressed every morning.
No, it's all good. I thought it was. But yeah, it turns out probably your club interpretation probably a bit more on the mark. Here's the lyrics really quick since we have the official ones. Living in a world of trials, tiles of every color, under an open bride, mystic worlds collide. They said they had never died. Everyone's a 9 to 5, barely placed in time, gone when it arrives. Mind in overdrive. Nights of turning in goodbyes.
This sounds like an AV song. Yeah, do you think do you like it on this album?
I mean, part of it, the sequencing to me too, is part of the weirdness. I mean, it's hard to think of a place that it could fit better, but putting it after Stride Riot and before King's Walk, which is sort of this elegiac closer, seems pretty weird to me. Like I'm really curious in general about sort of like the origins of this song. Like it seems like maybe it was like a sketch at one point that was maybe part of like a longer jam that they
it seems like
didn't really flesh out.
It seems like purely a studio creation. It's interesting that like before this song they're like, okay, so we have an hour's worth of material, but we need something else. And maybe they felt like they needed like a banger. Or something.
But it's not really a bang. I mean, it definitely is like...
It's upbeat.
It's upbeat, but it's kind of like circular. Like it's
like the most random thing they've ever done.
Doesn't go or arrive. Like it's cool. Like I'm into it when I'm listening to it.
I like continuity, and
definitely interesting.
I like when things fit into the vibe, you know, and it's a whole, you know.
Yeah.
The album's presented as a whole. But yeah, it's another one of those Anco left turns.
Feels like a segment. Doesn't mean it's like incomplete, I guess, but maybe that is what I'm saying. It sort of sounds kind of...
I'm just reading some Collected Animals posts. ACAB is bizarre and reminds me of Ariel Pink.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
ACAB makes me think of both Lock Raven and one of the sections from MGMT's Siberian Breaks. ACAB is probably my favorite track. Genuinely surprising and awesome little tune.
Yeah.
AV said he didn't really know how to write short songs, but we got ACAB. I hope ACAB is a sneak peek of their next sound. Yikes.
I mean, that is definitely doesn't sound to me like anything they've done in the past.
ACAB is awesome.
Certainly sounds like them, but in a definitely...
It seems like the heads like ACAB, at least... The kick in ACAB is slapping me in the brain. It sounds so fucking good.
Even the like sort of squelchy like acid bass, like it's like
ACAB sounds like MGMT doing Scooby Doo. ACAB, man, they're really trying to tell us something, huh?
See, that's what I was talking about.
Sequencing is pretty great in my opinion. Maybe ACAB after Defeat would be funnier.
I mean that.
Yeah, that's a good call. ACAB is hilarious. Not sure what else to say. I fucking love ACAB. It's been on repeat in my mind all the time.
It's certainly an interesting one.
The heads love ACAB.
Yeah, the message board.
The heads love it.
Message board bros.
Anything else about ACAB?
Yeah. Just curious more than anything else.
We're speechless over here in Bonefish HQ right now. Animal Collective just smashing us over the face with a fucking quick burn banger.
It's different. I like it. I like the differentness. This album is different, man. Genie's Open, different. Defeat, different. Panda Bear tracks maybe the some of the best, also maybe the least kind of surprising, but this is a different album. And it closes with King's Walk, the sparse, monastic chant that sort of serves as an elegy.
I've only listened to the studio version once. It seems pretty faithful to the live version. Let me know if I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, I mean,
it's basically vocals and like hurdy-gurdy, right?
Yeah, and some sound effects scattered in, which I also will just say, I feel like, overall the kind of sound effect integration on this album is really cool. Tastefully done. Listening to it in context of the album, it feels to me sort of like a companion to Defeat. Obviously it's short, but I think both lyrically and kind of vibe-wise, I see it as kind of a companion. I mean, the lyrics of the song in total are, "This old world's almost getting cooked. This old world's tougher than it looks." And then "Hold hands." I think another reason it feels like a sort of twin to Defeat is that it's got like, whereas Defeat is maybe at times sort of, we're at the bottom of the barrel, and Defeat, we're defeated. And then King's Walk sort of maybe adds a little reason to hope sort of at the end. It sort of like starts, Avi sort of sings to those lines, and then there's kind of a middle section with more Gregorian chanting harmonies. And then at 3 minutes and 30 seconds, there's sort of that like crazy kind of atonal vocal that comes in sort of out of left field, which is kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. I think this song works well as an ender, especially if you view it as kind of a coda to Defeat. But, what do you think of this track?
I was never too hot on it. I like the idea of just like vocalizing harmonies, something like College or something, where it's kind of mostly a cappella on paper. I like that.
I like it when they hit the high notes too, and this one sounds pretty like Panda on top.
Yeah.
Avi and Deacon lower down.
I do remember
sounds pretty tight.
The like earlier live versions had AV and auto-tune. Is that still on here? I don't remember. Like kind of in the background.
I don't think so.
Okay, that's gone. Yeah.
There was like a section of Defeat that had crazy auto-tune at one point also.
Yeah, there was a lot more auto-tune on these songs, I remember, which was really weird when I first heard them. But the song, I mean, it fits into the palette of the album, King's Walk obviously like brings to mind like some sort of, procession or something like stately. Mm-hmm. And that's cool. I think it's I really like the direction and the vibe of this era. It does feel new and fresh, which is cool. Got any other overall thoughts?
Yeah, I like this album. I think in terms of being like a companion to Time Skiffs, definitely feels like that. Different album, same era. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty interested in what the tour behind this album will look like, if there will be a tour behind this album.
I'm guessing, I don't think they're going to tour behind this album.
Since they've been playing these songs now for several years.
Because we've already been in this mode for 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think definitely the sense from fans is like they want to kind of move on and what's next. Like it'd be cool if they toured for this and just dropped all new stuff like they used to do,
Yeah. All new stuff plus all the clubs are broken.
But I don't think they're gonna. I think this is the end of an era, and I think it's gonna get a little quiet in the Animal Collective universe after this. Maybe you like this or Time Skiffs better, or the same?
That's a tough one. I agree with you. I like the Panda Bear tracks both better on Isn't It Now. Like I said, really love Defeat, but as an album, I might be with Time Skiffs.
Yeah.
I might like that a little better.
Same.
Also with the caveat of we've lived with that album for a while, and this one is still pretty sort of fresh.
Yeah, this one's fresh. I mean, but what I'll say is like, or at least for me, I knew what was coming for both albums.
Mm-hmm.
And Time Skiffs surprised me, and I liked it more than I thought I would.
Mm-hmm.
This is about what I expected, I'd say.
Yeah.
For Isn't It Now? It's like, aside from A-Cab,
yeah,
it's what I expected, and that's cool. You know, that's fine. Like, it's definitely a great fall album. I think this is definitely Golden Leaves, sun going down or sun coming up.
Yeah,
I feel that
dusk.
Yeah, you feel that cool crisp air. Definitely throw this record on.
Yeah, this is sort of silly, but so an idea I had: what if we go like track by track shoot off? Like track 1 for each one. Which one do you like better? Track 2.
A quick round robin.
Yeah,
Sure. Go
does that
for
sound
it.
good?
Yeah.
Right. So Dragon Slayer versus Soul Capture.
Dragon Slayer.
Same. Pretty easy one for me.
Yeah.
Track 2, Car Keys or Genie's Open.
Genie's Open.
I think I'm going Genie's too.
But Car Keys I like better live.
Interesting.
I thought it kind of came off clunky in the recorded version. Kind of, to me, that's the A-Cab of Time Skips is Car Keys.
Interesting.
Car Keys almost sounds like a Centipede Hurts song.
Does have like Rosie O vibes a little bit, huh?
Kinda I think it is an older song too.
Huh.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going Genie's Open too. I think it's real different, real original. And it feels more like a whole band song than a Car Keys, which feels pretty Noah-centric. Prester John versus Broke Zodiac. Tough one.
Not for me, Prester John.
Yeah.
Prester John's like one of my favorite Anko songs of the past.
Prester John's beautiful. I think I'm going Prester as well. As much as I love Broke Zodi.
Mm-hmm.
Strung with Everything versus Magicians from Baltimore. I think we both know where we're going here.
Strung.
Yeah.
Strung with Everything.
I mean, it's like a party versus a
funeral.
Walker versus Defeat. This is pretty silly. Wow. Whatever. It's still kind of fun though.
Not crazy about either, but I think I'll pick Defeat.
Yeah, I've got to do Defeat after everything I've said about it. Cherokee versus Gemini.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
That's tricky.
That's a tough one. Ooh, I don't know. What's your pick?
I don't know. It's tough.
This is so hard.
Like Cherokee sounds so much more like an Animal Collective song to me, whereas
the
Gemini maybe sounds like a more Panda Bear song. Maybe that's unfair, but that's tough. They're both super good.
Draw. Call it a draw.
All right. We each get one.
Both drawing on that one.
Passerby versus Stride Right.
Passerby's grown on me. It was like my least favorite song on Time Skiffs, but it's like kind of grown on me.
Yeah, definitely was a sleeper for me on Time Skiffs too, but I think I would take it over Stride.
I think I'm going with, same, Passerby.
Yeah.
Sorry, Deacon.
Sorry, bud. Number 8, We Go Back versus All the Clubs Are Broken.
Yeah, We Go Back.
I think I'm doing all clubs, dude. I'm into the freakiness.
You're going to go with that?
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I dig We Go Back, don't get me wrong. But
We Go Back's awesome.
And then number 9, the last track, King's Walk versus Royal.
Oh, they were both 9-track albums?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's sort of why I wanted to do this, too.
Interesting. Yeah, no competition for me. Royal and Desire.
I'm Kings, dude.
Wow.
I mean, I like Royal and Desire, but yeah, I like King's Walk.
Wow. I actually take back what I said about the album being like leftovers. That's too strong of a word. I don't think these are leftovers.
Right.
Because clearly there were some songs that were really good that didn't make Time Skiffs because of recording logistics. So
yeah,
don't want anyone to get it twisted.
Right. We get what you mean. We get the spirit of the comments. But yeah, in the spirit of Isn't It Now being a sort of a second part to Time Skiffs or a different work in a similar body.
The quick follow-up.
Yeah.
The part 2.
The sequel album. Yeah, we thought we'd chat about some other notable sequel albums and see if we can draw some similarities.
Yeah, we're like trying to think of other albums that like were in quick succession, kind of like a part 2, very much the same vibe.
And we mentioned Kid A and the Amnesiac, which definitely I feel like is sort of the...
Which I feel like to me Amnesiac
example.
I feel like Amnesiac does feel like Leftovers.
Really?
And I know there's a lot of people out there who fucking love Amnesiac.
I love Amnesiac.
I like it. It's just like Kid A is just head and shoulders miles above Amnesiac.
I mean, Kid A was my favorite Radiohead album for a while.
Same. That's like the millennials' favorite, yeah.
But there's definitely been periods of my life where I've gotten pretty deep into Amnesiac and would say, like, at whatever time, maybe I currently liked it more than Kid A. I mean, but that's one of the cool things about having, decades-long relationships to artists and bands is, you sort of, your views on their work change, and at different times in your life, different parts of the work speak to you.
Yeah.
I feel like it's also a good comparison because it sort of seems like Isn't It Now and Time Skiffs will chart a similar trajectory to Amnesiac and Kid A in the sense that, like, I feel like the second one in both of those instances is a little bit like less critically acclaimed, less popular, but has its like diehard fans.
Imagine if they were released in the reverse.
Yeah.
Like, do you think like if I haven't really seen reviews for Isn't It Now, but Time Skiffs was reviewed very well. That was like the comeback AC record, the adult record, But I wonder if like Isn't It Now came out first. I want to say it would have still gotten a similar reception. I think.
Really?
I think so. I think so because I think what stood out in the ears of critics was like the changing emotional palette of the band and the music, just kind of like a more like the gracefully aging album kind of, the more cohesive kind of chill comeback album. And that's what I think mattered. And both those albums have that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That is my guess.
But at the same time, like we both like Time Skiffs a little better.
I like it. Yeah. I think I like it a lot better.
I think like, I don't know. That's an interesting thought experiment. I mean, I think like...
What about if you did it with Kid A and Amnesiac?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I think with both instances, I think they kind of... I don't know. I think
should say Kid A for to explain things because it is, we don't want to... it's arrogant to assume things sometimes, but yeah, Kid A came out first.
The Zoomers.
Yeah, we're talking to you, Zoomers, who don't even remember 9/11. It's so sad. Anyway.
Yeah,
Kid A came out first. Huge, critically acclaimed left turn album from a major rock band.
Right. Which Time Skiffs definitely was not. We should make that demarcation. Like Time Skiffs was not
on the level of Kid A. No.
But definitely
we're just talking about the duality of the
universally praised
albums. Yeah. Kid A was the famous left turn by a big rock band. Time Skiffs is more of the comeback album.
Yeah, return to form in a way.
Return to form in a way, yeah.
Return to form in a way that also like shows the band's evolution and like maturity.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I think both Radiohead and Animal Collective would look at those two sets of songs each respectively and sort of gather intuitively that the ones they were putting out first would be like their best foot forward at that time in the sense. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. Like, I think of like Defeat being sort of the first like signpost for this album. And if like that was if like Defeat was the first thing released following like the Painting With era, like how that would be received compared to I guess Prester John was sort of our first taste.
I mean, I love Prester John.
Right.
Like that's maybe, I don't know if it's one of my favorite ever, but it's, some days it's pretty high up there. Okay, so other albums in this zone. The Grateful Dead, 1970. Working Man's Dead, American Beauty. Both came out, I think, less than 6 months apart. Both very similar palette, kind of like the Downcast around a campfire sound. But also two very short albums that could have like really been like maybe one album. I think one's like 35 minutes, the other one's like 45 or something, I don't know, but those I always kind of group together as one universe.
Yeah.
And probably like their best studio recordings.
Did those two albums kind of come out of the same sort of Genesis period, or were
Good
they...
question. I don't know.
Speaking of thought experiments, it's interesting to think also too about like, would Animal Collective have done this sort of 2-album thing if the pandemic didn't happen?
Yeah, I mean, I think it could have been one double album, and like maybe Defeat would have been like the follow-up EP, maybe, because all of that at once would be like more than 2 hours. But then like also a really cool thought is like one like triple album, like Kamasi Washington's, what's that, The Epic, or Melancholy, Infinite Sadness, Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah.
Those are like, can you think of any other like triple albums? Like I know those are two like triple albums. Like Melancholy is literally 2 hours long. And that was a major fucking album. But yeah, like imagine a triple and co-album of the Time Skiffs era stuff. That'd be pretty cool, pretty massive. But then like, would like the press just be like, this is too much? I don't know.
What the hell is this? Yeah. I mean, it's interesting to hear you say, like, put Defeat on an EP after, because to me, it's, like, so central to the, isn't it now, like, vibe.
The Beatles, Rubber Soul, and Revolver were, like, 8 months apart, but I'm not a Beatles expert, so I don't know if these were, like, very distinct sessions. I know, you know, this was, like, when they started making, like, full albums and, like, getting away from kind of the single stuff, but...
Yeah. I just know Rubber Soul is like when they started getting into weed.
Yeah, right.
And then Revolver is kind of their like, I don't know, first quote unquote, like psychedelic album. Or also George was starting to like be more involved with songwriting and.
Yeah. I mean, all those like 60s records, man, that like came out like 5-6 months apart. Like, I think.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, that was.
They just like.
It's working like clockwork.
But in terms of like kind of the same session era, I mean, Dylan's Self-Portrait and New Morning, I feel like are kind of in the same universe. Those albums have kind of been rediscovered as of late by like Dylan fans. What else? In terms of more modern stuff, Deer Hunter released 2 albums in 2008. Microcastle and Weird Era continued.
Oh, right, yeah. And that was definitely a sort of case of like, we're just kind of overflowing with stuff. Yeah,
I don't know if those came from like the same writing sessions.
That's a weird one because I like loved Deer Hunter and was so into Microcastle at the time, but I didn't spend a lot of time with Weird Era.
Ooh, it's the reverse for me.
For whatever reason, really?
Yeah, I love Weird Era. Microcastle is probably the one Deer Hunter album I spent like the least amount of time with.
Oh, wow.
I love Weird Era.
Crazy. Fucking sick-ass album art. The like skull eye thing.
Yeah.
Or that was like maybe Microcastles too. I'm not sure.
Bruce Springsteen released 2 albums in one day in 1992. Lucky Town and Human Touch.
Okay, boss.
Yeah. Not his best stuff, maybe his weakest stuff, but there's some good stuff. Ryan Adams, are we allowed to talk about Ryan Adams anymore? Ryan Adams released 3 albums in 2005.
Right, he had like that was
with
like
the Cardinals,
Easy Tiger kind of vibe.
That was 07. This was
okay.
Cold Roses, Jacksonville City Nights, which were with the Cardinals. Those were kind of similar. I thought like Jacksonville City Nights was like more like country. Oh, Death Grips released 2 albums in 2012, No Love, Deep Web, and Money Store.
Right.
I don't really know No Love, Deep Web. I love Money Store, though.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get the sense with them that the rapid release is less like a same session, we have more stuff thing, and more just like in a time of insane productivity.
Yeah.
In terms of like modern bands, I think like Big Thief, like this is just a band that's just like
cranking out the output.
Right. But in terms of just like, all right, they're in their zone.
In the zone, yeah.
Whereas this is, I don't know, maybe a little bit less that and a little bit more just the practicality of like life. And like, all right, we got together at this point. We generated a lot of new material.
Yeah. The National just dropped a second album. That's second one this year. I think I don't really like The National.
I used to be huge into them. I've kind of not really paid attention.
Can you give me the elevator pitch on this band? Because I just have tried so many times, and on paper, I should like this band, but I just can't, man.
So is it the voice? Is it the deep baritone? That's sort of the barrier.
I don't know. Like, I kind of like that stuff. Does he get into like spoken word stuff, or is he like usually like singing kind of?
I wouldn't call him spoken word.
It's not the voice, I don't think. I think it's just like all of it is just so monotonous and just like blends in. That's one band where it's like, Justin, like you should like this band. What is wrong with you? I've seen them live. I've listened to albums.
Wow.
And I just feel nothing.
I mean, that's what I was going to say. Like, it's sort of like what I tell people about the game of soccer. Like, if you don't understand it, just see it live first. Like, go to a game. It's kind of like the National. I was like, because I had the similar thing like early on. And for me, it was sort of the voice thing. But I feel like after I saw him live for the first time, something kind of clicked, and I was like, this is cool. And yeah, I mean, I think Boxer through Trouble Will Find Me era is all pretty fire. I haven't listened to it. I haven't listened a ton to the last couple. But
like the recent stuff, like Aaron Dessner working with Taylor Swift and kind of the skittery beats and the piano, I'm just like, hard pass, man. Just so fucking boring and just.
Well, that's a whole I mean, it's funny because it feels like they sort of.
And now they're trying to ride that T Swift train, like she's on their albums, and it kind of sucks the air out of the room, and like.
Is she on their albums?
She's on the first one that they released this year. Yeah,
whoa.
They've kind of. It seems like they've taken.
Man, I'm really out of the...
Anyway, they've also released the quick follow-up to this year, but I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't anymore. I definitely did once, though. I was really into Mad Men at the same time. I was like into them. Maybe there's like a sort of spiritual connection between... I don't know. I just think of like alcoholic New Yorkers who are like...
Yeah.
Working...
Men with beards who stare out of windows at night.
Like doing business during the daytime, then like just
getting
drinking whiskey and staring into fireplaces in the evening time. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's okay. Isn't It Now or Painting With? Which one would you pick if you had to pick?
Well, I feel so unprepared for that question.
Maybe it's not even a difficult decision for you. I don't know.
I think like the kind of novelty of Painting With at the time was maybe a little more exciting than this Isn't It Now rollout. I don't know. What do you think? Which one do you take over?
I definitely like the palette and the vibe more for Isn't It Now.
Mm-hmm.
But Painting With has some great songs. I'm not crazy about the production. We should save that for a Painting With pod, which I'm very excited for.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I like that you brought that up because it is kind of, I don't know, I think Painting With feels like, it felt like the first one that's like, all right, this is our job now. Like,
yeah, we literally
sounds
have to
bad. Like I don't like
we literally have to make money now.
Yeah. Like I don't want it to sound pejorative, but
yeah. No, let's table this because
okay.
We're gonna drop a fat Painting With episode. And it's gonna be good.
Right on.
But no, I'm excited to spend more time with the new album.
Got the listening parties coming up.
Yeah, if you guys are listening to this Friday, September 29th, and you're in LA, come on out to In Sheep's Clothing for the vinyl hi-fi listening.
Yeah, we're gonna be there. We'll be easy to find. We're two skinny white guys who are gonna be at an Animal Collective listening party. So
I'll be wearing a Orioles hat. I don't know if it's because it's like the quick part 2 album that I feel like Domino, the label's not doing a lot of press or pushing it a lot. I mean, they're not touring. I guess some billboards, some listening parties. There's not a lot of interviews, really.
Was there a lot? There were definitely interviews for Time Skiffs, but
yeah,
I don't remember a ton of other. Well, yeah, that's interesting. No interviews. I mean, we're at the week of release, and yeah, you'd think they'd be coming out. I mean, maybe some will in the coming days, but.
Yeah. I read like a Noah Substack interview today. That was pretty good, but
man, I still need to catch up on his interviews. He did a Talk House one, and then there's that Ion Pack one.
Should we talk about like what's next?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess things will quiet down a bit after this. I feel like 2022 and this year was a lot of stuff in the Anko world, but we know that Noah has had an album ready to go, I think, for a while. Deacon wants to record some songs for his album. Didn't Avi like form a group called Gator Pools or something like that with like 2 other people, I think? So
it sounds cool.
Who knows?
I didn't know Panda Bear had a new one ready to go.
Yeah. Sinister Grift, I think, is the working title. Sinister Grift, yeah. There's like one set on YouTube of him like playing the songs live. How would you like to see them come back? Like, what lineup or what kind of instruments would you like to see them play? That's always a fun exercise.
Yeah, I mean, we did an interview recently about Panda Bear's Young Prayer album that will be coming out soon. We spoke in that one how, like, it'd be really tight to hear a return to, like, acoustic stuff. Also really intrigued by All the Clubs Are Broken.
I hope they don't go in that direction.
You hope they don't?
Yeah. Sorry.
Take me there, dude.
Yeah, you want some back in the club?
I'm just
Animal
curious.
Collective?
I'm just intrigued. I might not like it when I get there, but I'm really curious what would happen if they tapped
I would be
into
surprised
that vein.
if they did that, just because of like judging from kind of where they're at as solo artists right now and like what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I do think like a Sung Tongs with all 4 of them would be so sick. Like,
yeah, dude.
Like Noah, but like Noah mostly on like percussion, but like maybe add some gadgets. Like imagine if Noah like did like a Carlos Nino style percussion thing where he just got some weird like gadgets. And then
remember he said around the Buoys time that originally he wanted to do like a Buoys band, sort of like a Violent Femme setup. Something like that could be wild. I mean, I
think Avi should go back to guitar.
Yeah,
like the bass was a cool little.
Be sick to see him
thing.
back on guitar for
But
sure.
Yeah, like back on like guitar because he hasn't really been doing that.
Yeah,
since like Centipede era.
Yeah, they've got to be hankering like a instrumental change up at least, like they switch gears so often, and this is their first like 2 albums on one kind of thing that I feel like it's a safe bet that they're probably for the next one not gonna do as much of a same instrumental lineup again.
Yeah, I don't think
looking forward to seeing what the next configuration.
Yeah, I don't think they'd go 3 for 3 with this.
Yeah,
but yeah, that would be cool. But who knows? They could always do a left turn and make like a gospel album or something. I don't know.
So yeah, isn't it now? If you guys want to email us or DM us about your thoughts, let us know.
Yeah. But yeah, find us on Instagram, find us on Gmail.
bonefishpod@gmail.com.
And stay grounded like the spruce. In the meantime,
see ya.
Peace.
Bonefish.